How's it? Today is Monday, January 13th. We are rolling in the gym, outside of the gym, in the other gym, things are just moving. Today was a snatch day, and it was a little different than what I did last week. I kind of reduced the amount of reps that I was doing for my top sets on both my snatch balance and my power snatch, but kept the same for my snatch remaining deadlifts, and I think that was the right move. Last week I tried to power snatch 78 for a top set of three, and I was not able to do that. So it meant that I was supposed to move down in weight, and yeah, that's like kind of humbling experience. But at the same time, I don't. Did I sit down in weight? Sorry, I'm kind of backing up here. I had to move down in reps, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, like it is definitely a humbling experience, but I'm not super attached to my ability to power snatch. I have never been good at power snatch, power clean, anything like that. So, me having to come to terms with that is very easy. Yeah, for today, I actually intended on going for three triples for the snatch balance at 111. And then when I got to 100, I was like, oh, why is that so heavy? And then I loaded 111, and yeah, I was like, yeah, no, I am not going to be able to do this right now. This is too challenging. So I ended up just doing singles, and it is what it is. I feel like when I look at how I'm moving, I feel like the weight's moving pretty quickly. I don't think like overhead positioning, as far as my upper body goes, is the limiting factor right now. You'll see here, that's my 100, and then this is going to be my first set at 111. You'll see that like overhead I feel pretty stable. But what ends up happening is like pushing out of the hole, my lower body is just not really as strong as it needed to be. I feel like I'm kind of pushing forward and backwards rather than pushing up and down. And that is not going to be very good. Like you'll see here. Like if my knee kind of caves in like that, I understand that that is okay. It's not great. That's kind of how I used to squat in the past. Like almost every single rep used to be with my knee caving in. It's called knee valgus, but in the weightlifting community, it's called knee bola. Probably not a good term for it, but it is what it is. That means that I'm not really bracing properly, and I'm not activating the leg muscles the way that I should be. So I think that that's gonna come more with time with me like lifting and squatting heavier again and stuff like that. Because right now it's my back squat's actually at, is it 114 right now, and so like with my back squats being that close to what I'm doing overhead, it's like yeah, I don't expect it to be um, super strong and super convincing at that position. After my snatch balances, I did my power snatch movement here again. This one I already knew that I was gonna go for one, so again, not super hard to get my head wrapped around it. For this, I was thinking about trying to move my hands quickly. I know that that was a cue that I was thinking about on Friday, and I think it helped me a lot on Friday. Today, it's not as good of a cue, mostly because I still need to have proper power. Ooh, that was pretty solid for 60. 70 looks okay too. And then from 70, I go to 81, which is maybe not the best jump, but yeah. So that's 70. I cut my extension short. And then 81. This is definitely a questionable power. I think the first two are questionable. And you know what I like to say is like if it's questionable, it's not a power. And for me, like that is, yeah, that's definitely questionable. And then I asked like, oh, is that a power? And then Blake's like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even watch it. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. This one I try my best to be a little bit better with it. And like for me, like the technique on this one, I didn't have really technique in my head, and I ended up shifting my weight to the right when I caught it, which I guess is like my uh, injury like I guess habit. I don't know. And then this one here, my last rep was definitely a power, and I was very happy with this one. It's power or nah? I was like, yeah, dog. So that's super fun. The last rep, what I was really thinking about was trying to get my hips as extended as possible, which is ultimately the goal for the power snatch and I guess the snatch in general. But sometimes there is a space where it's valid to say like if I have sufficient hip extension, getting under the bar faster is gonna help me lift the bar better because I'm gonna be closer to it in positioning, and that for me is just yeah, I don't know. It's a give or take, and like I think if I focus too hard on one or the other, then it always ends up being the extreme where it's like if I'm like thinking about trying to get under the bar quickly, then I'll definitely cut my extension short. And if I'm thinking about extending fully, then I'm going to be very slow under the bar. And there is a space where both of those two things um, shouldn't be at the extremes, if that makes sense. That was a really weird way of explaining that. I don't know. I hope that made sense. Did my snatch RDLs at 91, did some pull ups, and then some power off presses to finish off today. Um, yeah, actually, one thing that I was talking about, I think on Friday or maybe it was on Wednesday, but like I was planning to do 5 days a week last week, but Saturday I woke up and I was absolutely exhausted. So I was like, if I go to the gym today, it's gonna be a useless day. So I decided not to go. And yeah, that's where we're at. I think one thing too that I did not mention for today, like when I started moving into my power snatches, my lower back started feeling kind of uncomfortable. Um, and then it started to go away towards the end, but I don't know if that's because I didn't warm up properly. But when I was doing my overhead stuff, it didn't really matter at all. So it is what it is. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shoots.